Hello, welcome to my channel. Forgive the noise in the background. It's the air conditioner. It's hot. I just did a video on a 15-year-old boy that went missing. 15 years old, right? And there's a newspaper article I wanted to read. The Denver Post. And this says, Colorado Springs, boy disappears from youth treatment home. And there's some pictures online. And we'll look at the article. And this says, updated April 27, 2016. Kirk Mitchell. It says, family photo, Robert Bobby, forgive the ads. Robert, it says that he had something urgent he wanted to tell his mother, right? So he was staying at the Cheyenne Mesa Adolescent Treatment Facility in Colorado Springs, youth treatment facility, and didn't dare speak over the phone to his mother. They monitor the phones, he said, and began to cry, "Mom, I've got to talk to you." He told her he was thinking about running away from the facility. He was very upset. She made him promise he wouldn't run away. She said she would go, and this is to Cheyenne, but it's not in Cheyenne, it's in Colorado Springs. But she would go to the treatment facility as soon as possible. When she got off the phone with her son, she immediately called the facility front office and said she was coming right over. But then suddenly, as soon as she got off the phone, she called him. And they're saying he's off campus, or he was about to go on an off-campus day outing, and she would not be allowed to speak with him until he returned back. About who took him on the outing? Okay, the phone call with her son was the last time she ever spoke to him. She believes he's dead, but she just doesn't know what happened to him. She said she believes that the Colorado Springs police have never investigated the case as a possible homicide. They did not return a phone message seeking comment. When he was 7, he found the body of his stepfather minutes after he committed suicide by shooting himself in the head. His father was the only father he had known, and he blamed himself for the man's death. But her husband had a lot of issues after becoming permanently injured in Vietnam. He was a Vietnam vet who received a Purple Heart for severe injuries. So, and then when you go to the Charlie Project, and it says he was born in 1974, and he had emotional problems, and there's some pictures of him, and talks about some scars. And it said that he was staying at Cheyenne Mesa, a day program and residential treatment facility for adolescents with psychiatric and behavior problems. He was traumatized after he witnessed his stepfather's suicide when he was 7. The morning that he disappeared, he called his mother, and he couldn't say exactly what was wrong with him because the phone was being monitored. She called to make arrangements to visit him, but was told that he was on an outing. So she's trying to see him because something's wrong. And they're like, oh, he went on an outing. But it says they gave her back both pairs of his shoes. So how did he go on an outing with no shoes? Was somebody monitoring the call that didn't want him speaking to his mother? This is upsetting. And is this correct about him getting both pairs of his shoes back? It says there's confusion as what he was last wearing, because the clothes that she was told that he was wearing were clothes that were returned to her along with the rest of his belongings, it says. And that she took 2 pairs of shoes and she got both pairs of shoes back, indicating was he barefoot and he had sensitive feet and didn't like to be without shoes. So this doesn't make any sense. Okay, so about a week before he disappeared, this also says he went home on a home visit. She washed his clothes and noticed blood in his underwear, and she believes he may have been sexually abused, according to this allegedly. This is all allegedly, because I'm not sure where they got this information, and he's calling her trying to get help, and then he's never seen again. 1990s, never seen or heard from again. Right? So they don't know what happened to him, and even if he was a runaway since 1990, they would have found him. They saying there's no evidence of foul play, but it sounds like there's evidence of foul play. He's calling his mother help. She can't get a hold of him. The facility was open for 7 more years after that. Did they have any new workers? Does anybody know of anybody that worked there and if they had any new workers? Or what might have happened to this young man? Did anything happen to anybody else that was there? It's frightening. It's frightening, right? I don't know if this is true or if it's just allegedly or where they got the information, but this is the way it reads. How horrific. Your 15-year-old son, you're trying to get him help, and nobody knows what happened to him. And his mother lives in Kansas now, and that's just so sad. So sad. She lost her husband, she lost her son. And there's a John Doe found in Silverton, Colorado. I'm not sure how far away that is. Estimated PMI is 2 years. Supposed to be an adult, but I don't consider 15 to be an adult. But this says adult male for this John Doe. And there's some other John Does, so I don't know. It's just so sad, right? How would he be on an outing with no shoes? She's trying to get to him, and it just sounds horrific. Because even if he had ran away in 1990, by now they would have known what happened to him, right? Even if he ran away and died on the street somewhere, they would have found him, right? And they would have been, oh, here he is. So if he ran away and got hit by a car or something happened, they would be, oh, here he is, right? But no. No, he just disappeared. So I don't know. The whole thing is frightening. It's just horrendous. So if you have any information, it's been a lot of years. Maybe you gave them the information years ago. You're not sure if they still have it. Contact the police and let them know. Email them, call them. Even if it's hearsay, it's not like you're going to testify in a court of law. That's just very sad that this has happened. Very sad indeed. And it's just upsetting. So I think it's so horrific. So don't forget to pray for his family and his loved ones who have never been able to have a funeral, scatter his ashes, anything. So this young man never got to grow up and get married. Probably never went on a date, never got to get married, certainly didn't graduate from high school, and his whole future and his whole life was just taken away from him, right? And unless he ran away, but you would think if he ran away, somebody heard from him, right? Yeah, it's just horrific. So please don't forget to pray for his family and his loved ones. Feel free to leave comments and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.